Hi, what's up, Chalkers? Welcome to the Let's Chalk About It podcast. If you're new to fitness or just want to hang with some like-minded fitness folk, then this is the place for you. Remember, it's always good to chalk about it.
And we are back. Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello again.
How are we all doing?
Really good.
I did just start that podcast and didn't press record, so we started again.
Yeah.
Happy days.
We call that unlock.
Do your precious intro. Get your precious intro out the way.
Okie dokie. Hello and welcome to another podcast, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am joined by the ever knowledgeable Chris McKenzie, just in case he decides he wants to jump in when I'm introducing Scott. And Captain Jack / the tank / need to come up with a new name for him because I can't think of anything. Scott Carson. He's still interrupting. He's got no microphone and he's still talking. And I am Kieran Innocent. Thank you for joining us again. How has everyone been?
Yeah.
Really good.
Good. Haven't seen you for a little while.
No.
I've seen you recently, but...
Monday, Tuesday I trained.
Mm-hmm. You
Yep.
did indeed.
Scott was here Monday, benching the hell out of stuff.
Oh, I told
Thank
you.
you.
He was arm squatting. You come up with that one. Come on now. Arm squatting.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
So you've got an elbow sleeves. That's it.
Yeah, just to give you a little bit of background, the reason we say he's arm squatting is because he uses knee sleeves even. Yeah, that's right. Knee sleeves around his arms. So that's the reason we say he's arm
because I
squatting.
can't afford
Leg sleeves
to
are
have
just
those.
trousers. The knee sleeves.
Knee sleeves. He's wearing knees. Oh yeah, it'd be like a wetsuit if it was.
My bench shirt's just a pair of Levi's.
That's what they are anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
They're not even skinny fit, are they? They just look like they're skinny fit.
No.
No, skinny's a
fit
stretch.
for my
You can't have
legs.
that. You need just denim.
All jeans to me are skinny fit.
Yeah, that is very true. Very true indeed. I need to get that volume back up just in case we have to come up with a,
Oh yeah.
one that actually is what
Yeah.
it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So we're going to carry on with our little taster thing. So we've got this one, which I think is just called. Is it called Black?
Black Energy.
Black Energy. There you go, Christopher.
Thank you.
So again, this is.
You didn't tell me about this.
No. This is.
I mean, to be fair, I just seen these and I bought them. It wasn't anything we've been sent. It was just something I seen and I thought, we'll give it a try. So it's.
So no shout out to Black Energy because where you been? Where you at?
Yeah, you don't get one. I'm joking.
Why are you not on the podcast yet?
And in all theory, you just got a shout out when there's not doing a shout out for you. So, zero sugar again. It says it's vitamin based. So I'm not sure what vitamins it's got in it. Yeah, man, go for it.
It's got taurine in it, so it's got the neurotransmitters for when you're awake.
Oh, listen to him getting technical. What colour is this?
Mojito.
It's definitely not Mojito.
It's not a colour.
Oh, that's a fragrance. That is.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I just think I peaked my microphone then doing that.
Minty.
Oh, no. No, it's Mojito flavoured.
What did you expect?
I don't know.
It was called Mojito. What did you?
I know. Do you know what? It's because it's on the side. I just thought it was some weird brand that they'd... Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to like this. I'll try it.
I think it's tasty. I think that's tasty.
It's not bad.
It's got caffeine in it. You're going to get a buzz.
No, it's not my favourite. I'm not going.
Definitely not. That's like drinking stingy nettles.
Have you had stinging nettle tea?
Just that you know.
Nettle soup.
It's exactly like this.
You know when you I suppose it's like just like drinking a mint leaf, isn't it? Really.
It is
Or
a
eating
bit
mint
like
leaf.
having a mojito. You're on holiday and you go to take a sip, but you slip because you're in the pool and you get a bit of chlorine as well.
That was a very specific answer.
Sorry, Black Energy.
Sorry, it took me right back to there.
No, I'm not
But
apologising.
I don't hate it. It's just not.
I think it's like refreshing with a mint. I think it's quite tasty.
Yeah, I'm going to put mine to one side.
It
Pass
needs
on that
rum.
one.
Have mine if you want, Scott.
It needs
I'm not going
some
to drink
rum.
all of it.
Really tasty. Scott, you can have all three.
Yeah. That's what Scott just
I don't
sit
even
here all
energy drink
night,
like 7 at night.
You don't drink any drinks after 7?
I wouldn't have one at 7 at night, but it's just not. We'll taste it.
It's alright, it's only 6:30, so you're fine, you can carry on drinking.
Got that 40-minute window.
No, I can't even. No, sorry.
Caffeine.
Not for me, I'm afraid.
Window.
Certainly not my
I
recommendation.
don't hate it, but it's not. It's not something I would personally buy.
No, definitely not.
I admire the honesty. Just right. So I went out and bought these. Let's have a look at them.
I mean, in all fairness, they were 65p. So they were a lot cheaper than most other energy
For
drinks. but
65p, that's not bad.
you get what you pay for, I suppose.
I don't think they're too bad.
It needs rum.
It needs to be a 250ml can as well.
I'm not going to drink mint cold without rum.
No, it's just not for me. I'm going to put that out of the way. There we go. Right.
I'll leave it there so they can have a little bit of advertisement just for the effort they put in.
Yeah, that's fine. I just want to be honest. I'm not going to go out and tell everybody to buy every energy drink we try.
The Statue of Liberty, just empower yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Don't know.
Might be a bit political. I don't know.
Oh, I'll stay away from that.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that one.
Oh God, politics.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not for this
about
podcast.
it. Definitely not. Definitely not.
I don't know the politics, so I don't touch them.
Yeah,
talk about it.
Agreed. All I know is that Boris has got some amazing hair. That's all I know.
That's yeah.
If you want someone running your country,
so has the Trump fella.
let's definitely not get into that one. Definitely not.
Similar hairdos, really.
Yeah. He's just a British version, isn't it? It's like watching The Office UK and The Office US.
But world leaders and disappointing.
Yeah. Two big powerhouses. But yeah, it's just like running the office.
You know what I mean.
Well, I suppose one of them is running the office.
Hey.
The Oval Office.
Oh. Yeah! Labelled up. We know what we're doing.
Or
But
when Bill Clinton was in the ovary office. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Oh, hang on. Where's the other one?
There we go.
No? Okay. Right, so that's
Pretend
10
it wasn't
minutes.
as funny as yours.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just pretend.
I've got the power.
Just be like TV in the 90s and tell us when to laugh and when to cry.
Oh, hang on. I think you can do that, can't you?
Yeah. It's applause.
Yeah.
There'll be an
have we got
applause
laughing
light
thing?
here.
God.
It's like being in our own TV studio with a very shit sound man. Anyways.
So he's not even here.
No. That's how shit he is. He's not even here. Right. I was about to say he'll be back next week, but he won't. Oh, will he? No, he won't. Right. I believe we have a huge amount of questions to get through.
Oh, we do?
So we may as well kick
Let's
it
do
for
it.
starters.
I got moaned at by someone because I put my pass in on camera last time. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
he's changed it since then, people.
Yeah, sure.
So just to go before Scott starts, that we may not get through them all. So if we don't get through them all, we will add them on to the next podcast.
Yes.
So we will not leave you out, we promise.
Yeah, we've got a scroll worthy.
A whole thumb's worth.
A whole thumbins.
That's a new measurement.
Yeah.
Digital age measurement.
Okay. So first question, 2 words. Favourite athlete?
Oh, man. From Rob, eh?
Yeah, from Rob.
Oh. Right, so because that question come through me and I popped it to the podcast, I've been thinking about it all day. It's impossible. Like all the questions for me, I'm just like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah.
Do you two
Favourite
know?
athlete?
Or are you struggling?
Yeah, I know. I know who I'd go for. If I was going to go for like all out, I don't want to come back to wrestling, but there's like a wrestling side of it, but then it depends whether or not you class them as athletes. I personally do, but some people don't.
Yeah.
If I was just going to go with pure athlete, I would go with Tia Toomey.
Right, that's your favourite
That's
athlete?
my favourite athlete.
Oh,
I just
amazing.
love how much she's accomplished in the time she's managed to accomplish it as well, and the fact that
Yeah,
she's...
I get it. She's definitely up there.
Oh, 100%. And she hasn't even been lifting that long in comparison
CrossFit,
to...
fittest woman.
Yeah, she was also Olympic weightlifter in the Rio Olympics too.
Oh,
So
man.
4
Amazing.
times?
4 times. Yeah,
Four-time
four-time
CrossFit Games winner?
CrossFit Games winner, and the same year, I believe she either won or she comes second. She then went off to compete in the Rio Olympics as well. In the same year.
Yeah.
So like she's essentially training for 2 sports that are, all intents and purposes, the same and very different at exactly the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very impressive, I think.
Oh man, it is so hard because
Have you got like several, but from different categories, or are they all weightlifters?
so it's mixed. Everything's mixed. I mean, all around, I like. Ross Edgley's great.
Oh, I forgot about him.
Just because he covers all my things I like.
You put him higher than Tia?
Endurance.
I would put Tia. I'd still put Tia high.
Right.
But I don't know. I think there's more athletes out there. I mean, I like Matt Vincent. He's kind of like more of a hybrid as well. I mean, he did Highland Games, but he cycles a lot. And
He's done powerlifting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like good strength athlete. Yeah, definitely.
And I love Shaw. Just because...
Yeah, God, there is so many, isn't there? I think
It's
I've
hard.
just...
Can you pick one? 'Cause I've got like a few sort of lined up, and I think all my favourite athletes are weightlifters. So, Tony Cliff, British weightlifter. definitely in like my
Tony's the
top
man.
3.
Yeah.
Just because we've seen him compete live, just like really cementing himself as like proper legend in powerlifting. Not actually, he's just awesome. It's like super strong, great to watch. And then go to move like to weightlifting, not powerlifting. I think Klokov is like my top. He's probably number 2, like of my favorite athletes. It's just great to watch. He lifts a hell of a lot of weight. Like his intent and aggression is just brilliant to watch. But I think I'm going to say Shaw is my favourite athlete.
Say Shaw. I thought you'd say Shaw.
I'm going to say Shaw, and it's more. Yeah, he's what is it, 4-time now, world's strongest man.
Yeah, he's going for his 5th.
Going for his 5th. So he's 4-time world's strongest man. His training always looks just, well, 1, quite smart, 2, intense, like at the right times, and he uses good form. He like really brings it when he's like in competition, but it's more about how he just carries himself. He's like a proper athlete, proper bloke.
When I think athlete, I don't think what you've done. It's more how you hold yourself and how you are as a person.
Yeah,
as a role model.
Because there's athletes I'd rather be like, other than the ones that have won literally everything. Yeah. Like I'd rather sort of be like my favorite athletes rather than like a Michael Jordan. Yeah. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Shaw's gonna be my favorite right now.
I always thought he was going to say Eddie Hall. Not sure why. I thought that'd be his top go-to. But
I'm gonna say Ross Edgley just because he ticks all my boxes. But I have one for all categories.
Come on.
I don't know, weightlifting, Schenkel or John North.
You don't know, do you really?
They're both.
I have one for every category.
You know what? Chad Wesley Smith. I've just done it. Chad Wesley Smith.
Oh, he's pulled the Band-Aid off.
I love Chad Wesley Smith. I think he's just an ace guy. So informative, intelligent, shot putter, powerlifter, Olympic weightlifter. He's done everything.
It's good when they've done a plethora of sports and they've achieved a lot in different sports. That's always important.
And then just his mannerisms and how he presents himself. It's kind of like Shaw. It's just always that sort of...
He's calm. I mean, Shaw can like have a laugh. You see him like with his media stuff he's doing, but I just think he's brilliant.
His media stuff at the moment is like his YouTube stuff is just on point. I love watching.
And I would probably capture someone and I don't know, kill someone just to have a shot in his gym because it's just absolutely amazing gym. The coolest place ever. I'd break into it and risk him ripping my head off just to train in his gym.
You know in Alien, at the end, when that android gets ripped in half by like the mother.
All right.
That'd be you.
That'd be Shaw getting me.
Just picking you up and just tearing you into
What are you doing, weakling? I'd be like, sorry, Brian. Bye.
All I've got to do is hope I can outrun him.
Why are you floor benching? It's like I'm dead.
But he lives at altitude, so he can run like further than me. I'll be like, I'm gonna get away from him, and he'll just slowly catch me like a Terminator. Get me.
He'll just walk after you, like in every horror film where they never run.
I'll be like, oh damn, these powerlifted. Oh, he's caught up with me.
Anybody else, Scott?
I think we could talk about favourite athletes, but I tried to talk about my favourites.
Bodybuilding, probably Jeff Nippard or Ronnie Coleman. I've probably got 2
for all of them.
Every category of strength sports. I love Kaz Meyer. I like Eddie Hall. Brian Shaw is clearly up there. I like Martinez. I think Martinez is
he's really cool.
Outstanding athlete.
He's really cool.
Sean Conway, which I talked about a few podcasts
You love Tank?
ago. Tank, yeah.
Tank's amazing.
Whatever his second name is. I just like Tank on social media when people ask him diet.
Musha Shima?
Meat rice. That's it. He just says, what's your diet like? Meat rice.
Maybe his second name's just Tank McTank.
Or Klokov's quote when he's someone asked him about diet and he's like, "You are what you eat. You you eat meat. You meat."
Like on his Instagram story, he did a Q&A, which I only found out because people were asking questions because it was in Japanese. And someone said, what's your plans at the minute? And be like, become less Tank. He's just like planning to lose weight.
Become less Tank.
Become less Tank.
Be less of me.
Oh, that's genius.
Go look up Tank. We'll have to put Tank's Instagram there for people to go look at Tank.
He is such a character.
I'll tell you what, in the description below, we'll put everybody's top athlete in the description of the YouTube video so you can go
for
off
the sake
and
of the question, I'm going to have to say Shaw, and I don't think you've said anyone, Scott.
I think
Shaw, Edgley.
No, Chad Wesley Smith.
Okay, Chaz Wesley Smith.
Nice one.
Is that right? Yeah. And Tia Toomey. So we'll link all them in the YouTube video below so you can then go and have a look to see who they are. Hopefully you know who they are, but if you don't, be interesting. I don't know who that guy is, so I'll go and check him out too.
Yeah, kind of one of the main guys for Jogging Up training systems. He also has a podcast called Blue Eyed IPA.
He came up with it, didn't he? He came up with the Juggernaut system.
I think it is all his.
It's his, yeah. And he's got like athletes he takes to meets.
He's got Mike Israel, who does all the sort of science behind it all, and he's got
coaching staff.
Who's the guy that did Bulgarian?
Oh, tons, loads of them.
Glasses. He was the first guy to do the 0 to 600s.
Well, he trains Bulgarian. Max Aita. He trains Bulgarian, or used to.
He trained under the people that did the Bulgarian system.
All right.
With them, so yeah.
Eastern European bloc training.
Yeah. But yeah, talk that question.
Martinez as well.
That's
great
a
shout.
podcast in itself.
And then we go, and then I think we'll get onto it at some point. But favourite coaches. We'll get onto that as a different podcast.
It's no good to me. I'll let you guys run that one.
We won't stop.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on swiftly.
Yeah, before the whole podcast is like an hour of athletes.
What advice would you give to help improve flexibility and reach?
So that is from my really good friend James as his wife, and then he's got a couple of questions underneath.
I think so.
So Lou wants to know about flexibility. Oh, it's a really difficult one.
I didn't put names in this week. So.
You guys can chuck whatever you think in, but I think the main thing, depending on what you want to achieve with your training, I think don't get caught up with flexibility. It's kind of like there's way more things you can really push yourself with and improve on. Rather than
mobility and flexibility is different, right?
I don't think so. I think it's just flexibility. People stop saying it.
Mobility is being able to move in a normal range of motion, whereas flexibility is like, I can do box splits.
I don't know.
I want to be Van Damme.
Going through all the literature, if you really read into it, there might be some structural differences. You could talk about mobility and flexibility. I think that in terms of what people think of and the people that want to train and get better, I think they're the same thing, to be honest. Well, how range of motion around a joint for both of them, really, isn't it?
I always think mobility is the range of motion you're able to move in, whereas flexibility is how far you're able to push that range of motion.
All right, cool. I like that one. So, I mean, quite simply, if you want to work on flexibility, maybe there's like some positions in like maybe it's like quite a subjective sport like gymnastics, and you really got to push your flexibility, or maybe you're trying to do some movements like your husband or whatever's doing squats and doing pull-ups, and you think, I can't even get into those positions yet. So yeah, working on flexibility at times might help. The really simple trick would be hold the position you're trying to get into for 20 to 40 seconds at a mild discomfort. Don't go to like the crazy lengths people go into and put themselves through pain. So yeah, don't focus on it. Maybe try that, just holding those positions in like a mild discomfort. But and then the final bit of advice would be, when you're working through whatever your goal is, if it's throwing javelin, if it's getting into the squat position, whatever it is, if you keep training it and you keep repeating training it and you're getting better and better, you're going to be able to go through all the range of motion. Your sport will do that for you. Yeah. Same with powerlifting and squats. You'll just get there and you'll just go through it. So just keep pushing that, keep doing what you want to do for your performance or your little training, and your flexibility gets better. You'll be in those positions.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add to that. I'm probably one of the most naturally flexible and most unflexible at exactly the same time.
So, I mean, you've been flexible, but sometimes you've had to really work on your strength positions in squats, and the squats just did that for you, and weightlifting just did that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I've got, hyperextension on a lot of my joints anyway, naturally. But then I really struggle with my hamstrings, so I did a lot of very specific movements for my hamstrings to try and, loosen them up a little bit. So I'm probably not the best person to give advice on. The only thing I would say is that make it more specific to whatever your movement is. So if it's something specific you're looking at, like squats or something like that, then doing the actual squats is going to help as well, but you can also add a couple of extra bits in there. And also make sure you do it when you're warm. Definitely don't do it when you're cold, because some people will just go in and start stretching straight away.
That's quite a good point, yeah.
And I think actually, think of it like an elastic band. If you put an elastic band in the fridge or the freezer and then take it out and stretch it to its full, probably going to do some kind of damage, whereas if you warm it up first in your hands and then stretch it, you're going to get far better stretch on it. So my only advice would be is make sure you're warm before you start stretching. Don't stretch before you warm up. And that is my only advice, because that's as much as I can bring to the subject.
I hate stretching and flexibility stuff, but I do it because I will snap. I treat it like another movement. So I'll do 3 to 5 sets of, instead of 10 reps, it would be 10 seconds of certain stretches, and then that's basically it. And it's only do it when I feel areas are tight.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
and then like fascia release and stuff like that. You know,
Oh yeah, when you've got like little adhesions and little knots and stuff.
That's about as far as I go, and I'm pretty flexible. You know, especially for a bigger guy, I think I'm fairly flexible. So
Yeah, I think you were right as well, like holding the move as well. So if you're under the bar, just get under the bar and just let yourself sit in the hole for a little bit.
Yeah, if you have to do it and it's going to feel like you got a little psychological edge on your training, and do it after training. Don't do long hold stretches or passive stretching before weightlifting, because it will diminish your performance. It won't do anything for you. When you warm up, the movements that you're going to perform in, that's what you should warm up with, because that's going to get you ready for the movement. Don't just stretch.
Yep.
Next one?
Yeah, next one.
How regularly should you increase the weight you're lifting, and what kind of increments?
Oh, we've got our little goal thing. It depends. Depends on your goals.
I'm going to say it depends, but I'm not going to say it depends on your goal.
No, not on your goal.
I know what it depends on. Yeah. You two go. What do you think?
So I've changed my minds a lot about this in the past. So I it's the whole Milo story, the whole, feeding the cow and carrying it all day. The cow gets bigger, you get bigger sort of thing, which is...
or picked up a calf when it was
younger. It's like the beginning
younger.
of progressive overload and stuff like that.
Yep.
I prefer to sit on a number for a lot longer and play about with reps and, sets and reps before I move up. So I do it a lot less regularly than you do, because you're kind of more of like that traditional periodization. You're still doing linear progression. Yeah, but I'll sit in a zone for a bit, whereas people kind of do, try and spike it up and do a deload. I like to sit at weight for a week or so, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, but you're still manipulating the stress event, because let's say you start off with, you'll go up a weight and you'll go
5 threes,
5
4
threes,
fours, 3 5s.
Right, cool.
And then I'll do usually a back off set. So it's like a 4-week cycle. So I'll do 5 threes next week, 4 fours, week after 3 5s, and then I'll do the weight for like comfortable sets. So like I might do doubles, triples, set of 10 if it feels really easy.
Right.
And then nothing that's going to really blow me out. But next time when I go back in, I'll increase the weight. And that is dependent on how it felt for those weeks.
So you're sitting at a weight for a few weeks, changing volume slightly, and then seeing if you feel like you want to move up.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you just do what we say again?
No. That's why I like having the power.
What do you think? So, because you've been listening to us too, what do you think about going up in weights?
I think it depends on where you're at in your journey. So if you're starting off fresh, you're going to be able to increase that weight a lot quicker.
Ooh, very good point.
No, I didn't even think of that.
If it's like a deadlift or a squat, you're probably going to be looking at being able to throw 10, 20 kilos on at the start if you're trying to progress. Once you start hitting your numbers, then you can go up 5s, 2.5s. I don't really think there's an answer for what you should do. I think you should look at how you feel with the weight. If you think, 160 for a squat, you can do 5 sets of 5, then I think there's little to no point to sticking to that weight unless you're going to increase your reps. Then I would say that you just, there's nothing wrong with going up by 1.25.
Nope.
If that's what you feel that it's going to help, and as long as you're progressing, I would just say see how it feels in yourself. I don't think there's any set numbers you should be doing.
Okay. So I think it depends on training advancement. So you sort of start to touch on it there. So if you are in your novice phase, so the first, maybe people can stretch that out into a couple of years, but it's usually like the first year of training, hard, focused training. You'll be in your novice stage, and that means you'll be able to recover within a few days. I'm not going to start talking about hours and whatever, because it's going to be quite varied.
Yeah.
So you're able to create a new stress event for yourself and adapt every few days. So you want to take advantage of that, being a novice, and improve really quickly, like Kieran has for the last, say, 25 to 30 weeks, because it started training as lockdown.
25 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's really focused on his training since maybe March, April. So that's how you would play that out. So if you're a novice, you're first sort of looking into weightlifting, or it's your first year, or you haven't been training optimally, even though if you have been training 5 to 10 years, well, let's start to really focus now. And you can go up on upper body moves. So your overhead press and your bench press, you're looking at 2.5 every workout. 2.5 kilos, and then lower body moves, or so your squats and your deadlifts, sometimes 5k, and then as you're getting towards a point where it's a little bit more difficult to add that weight each time, maybe 2.5k for those as well. And so that would be like, if you have 4 sessions over, it'll be a week and a bit, you're looking at 2.5, then you'll have 5K over, 7.5, 10, and that's how you keep working through those. If you're in an intermediate phase, so let's say you've played that out, you can't recover after a few days, it's hard for you to hit your numbers, sets of 5, sets of 4, whatever it might be, you'll be in your intermediate phase, and that's where it'll be like weekly, you'll be able to make improvements. So it'll be 2.5K per week or per every 10 days. It just seems to be that the way we live, per week is convenient for us. So we tend to do things weekly, don't we? No one really trains over 10 days or 12 days. It tends to be a 7-day cycle. It's just the way it goes.
7-day window.
Yeah, it tends to be 7 days. So that's just the way it goes. So 2.5 on each lift per week. And then when that plays out, you're going to need a whole block of training or a whole number of these weeks, or you call them like a mesocycle. So a number of these weeks to make the progress. So you being advanced, you'd need to go, say, 4 to 6 weeks of those mini stress events. That's what's going to cause the stress. So you might be 2.5 or 5K in 4 weeks or 6 weeks. So that's sort of how it plays out. And that's how often you should increase weight.
Yeah.
Don't go by feel is my advice. You don't know what you feel.
Never go by feel. Yeah. If you're a novice or
what your body does is more important.
So ignore me. That's what they say.
No, that's my advice. That was your advice.
All right. Let's okay, next question. What one piece of equipment would you recommend to continue strength training from home?
That's hard.
Yeah, I mean, are we not including weights in that? Because it's like one piece of equipment.
I'm going to simplify it for my brain, so I've already picked mine. I've already simplified it.
Okay.
Well, you start then.
I've got one as well, yeah.
I think a heavy band.
Heavy bands.
I think you could do tons of stuff in your training.
Yeah.
In your living room, you could do all the body weight stuff you want. That'll be good for maintaining some strength. Crazy high reps, I think you'll go backwards with your strength training, your strength goals. So don't do crazy high reps. Just test yourself. Do isometric holds, not for a crazy amount of time, but still do your bodyweight movements, pull-ups, push-ups. Try to some sort of lunging and squats if you're really struggling, but add the heavy band where you can. So against you when you're doing pull-ups, round your shoulders, do some squats, round your neck and do the back of your neck. And do like good mornings. Push-ups against the heavy band. I think that'd be great if you're forced to work from home. So James, because I think that's your question as well, try and get some heavy bands from somewhere.
Yeah.
And really thick, dense ones that you've really got to strain against.
Yeah, that's a very good answer.
Yeah, it's a very good answer. I don't even think I could add to that one, to be perfectly honest.
I was going to say a heavy dumbbell or kettlebell.
Oh, kettlebell's a good shout.
Just like that sort of between 20 and 40k, depending on the person. Something that's kind of like
that's good.
Quite a hard effort for an overhead press, and you can kind of use that for your.
And if you did some slow reps on squats, you could probably do it as well.
Yeah, exactly. You could do goblets, you could do swings, you can do kind of everything with it.
Snatches with them, loads. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Press-ups. I do think I think kettlebell workouts are something that I've made a bit of a joke lately. Cause
kettlebell what? Sorry.
Kettlebell exercises, because it's turned into this Zumba mum class in a lot of areas. You get mums kettlebells.
Kind of commercialised it a little bit.
Yeah, and it's now became like how Zumba or Pilates is. It's kind of been made more of a joke of. I think a kettlebell is.
That's why I like a lot of Jim Wendler stuff. He's like, I'm doing dumbbells. He uses barbell training a lot, or his safety squat bar. He does deadlifts, trap bar deadlifts. Does all the main nuts and bolts of training. But he's also kind of like, and then he'll add in kettlebell snatches, kettlebell cleans, and other stuff, or even kettlebell rows. He's like, I love kettlebells for rows. So just use the stuff that's there that works. They're brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
Just
get a big rock.
Yeah, just don't buy anything. Just go and find a huge rock and do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really got anything to answer on that one, because I think you guys have both covered.
I think they're the two. If you have a heavy band and a kettlebell, I think you could pretty much do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I mean, if you could go for two forms, a barbell and some weights, again, if you can do that from home, you can get most exercises in with just a barbell.
That's what I was trying to I was like, I could just go forever and talk about bits, but I think I'll try to stick to.
Yeah, but if you had to have one single thing, I think you two have both nailed it. I don't think we need to add anything
You're right though. Like barbell and weights. I mean, you're not gonna.
Yeah, that would be number one.
I mean, that's all I started with. I literally had a bench, a barbell, and some weights, and that was it. And that's kind of what you need. You can pretty much do everything with them. So.
Oh yeah.
If you can have a small selection, and it's not even that expensive. I mean, realistically, I'm going to go with the bar I had originally. I think I paid £100 for it. It wasn't expensive.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of how much bars actually can cost, or what they, some of them. I mean, my one's a fairly cheap one. It was still you know,
My first one was
a good chunk of 500 quid.
100. It was 120 kilo of weights with the bar, like with the bar.
Yeah.
So 100 kilo of plates.
I think that's the same as what I got.
Yeah.
That's the silver one I
And
had
it was,
downstairs.
It was 150 pounds, and then I got a squat rack from Argos clearance warehouse for like 20 quid.
Yeah, I mean as well. You look on Marketplace. So if you look on
Yeah,
Marketplace, look on eBay. Especially, maybe not so much at the moment, but I think in 6 months when things maybe start going back to normal, and everyone who's gone out and rushed and bought all their equipment is going to go down pretty cheap, and I think you're going to probably be able to get yourself a decent deal.
Yep.
There's still some good things out there that you can get hold of at a fairly decent price, but I think I paid £40 for my first squat stand.
Yeah, exactly.
And even the one I got downstairs, although it's a much better one, I got it ex-demo from Strength Shop, and it was, I don't know, 200 quid? I don't even think it was that.
What, the wall mount?
The wall-mounted one.
Oh, amazing.
So
Oh, yeah, I think you did say, yeah.
yeah, so that was a great purchase. I know we're going off topic a little bit with how much things you can buy, but I think you can do. I mean, I think
relevant.
everything I've got downstairs was about £500 for all of it.
Wow.
So you can do it on a budget if you look around and you see. And if you look at Strength Shop, they have X-Demo.
Yep.
And if you look at Fitness Superstore in Northampton, they also have a lot of X-Demo stuff. And some of it's brand new just because it's been in their showroom.
Yeah.
And you get it for considerably less than... I think I paid £100 for my bench. It should be £300. So it's definitely worth going and checking those. So I would say, on a very slight tangent, because I can't add anything to what you two have added, check Marketplace out, check X-Demo stuff out on Strength Shop and Fitness Superstore.
Yep. And start doing banded kettlebell swings.
Yeah. And good mornings and all that jazz.
All right, this one's kind of up my alley, but if you had to choose 2 YouTube channels to get all your training and nutrition advice, from which would they be and why? One for training and one for nutrition.
That's really good.
That's a really good question.
I think we'll be quite similar on that one. Interesting that it's YouTube channels, not like coaches and books and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's why it's a good question.
I've got 2.
I've got 2.
Start with you.
Let's
start with Chris then.
I think because it's been a few years they've had a YouTuber, Starting Strength. Their YouTube's good. It's a lot of Rip talking on like their Starting Strength radio, and it's a lot of just cutting down the bad questions and bad information. So he's good to watch. But they've also got a ton of their instructional stuff, because no matter how good the book is, how good the program stuff is, people still struggle with understanding with lots of things, and they want to watch someone be coached. They want to watch the video. So that's a great place to start for training stuff. I will say it's definitely strength training. It's not always powerlifting relevant. Like they're definitely getting stronger, but they won't use like classic powerlifting lifts. It'll be how to get the most range of motion.
It's about getting stronger as
most
a person,
muscle mass,
not
strongest.
to become a good powerlifter.
Yeah, but they're
not going to teach you how to arch.
They're close, but powerlifting can slightly be different sometimes. But they obviously have got some really strong athletes, some amazing coaches. And then for nutrition, I'd probably look at Lane Norton's YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Probably go Lane Norton.
Oh, Lane wasn't up. Oh, that's spun me now.
But type in what you want. If you don't want to watch him crushing like the fitness losers that are on YouTube, and he just literally crushes them all the time. So it's a bit relentless.
I don't like the controversy stuff that he does.
He's a little Marmite, isn't he? You either seem to like him or you don't.
That's true. But to get his information and watch him on podcast, because that's technically him on YouTube. So get your information from him. He's great for nutrition.
Yeah, him on the American Glutton podcast, who's Ethan Suplee. That was an awesome podcast.
Was it good?
Yeah, very, very worth a listen. There was just nothing to do with controversy. It was just straight information. It was really, really interesting.
Even for simple stuff. I remember watching him on one podcast, and I think it was Silent Mike, just asked him about creatine, and then he sort of went, but how much a day? He just had to know the simple things, and people just want to get that from him.
Yeah, you can go on a tangent. Yeah, I mean, that's what Rip's always been great at, is giving you the most information in the minimal amount of packaging.
Yeah. Rip or
Lane.
Lane?
Want though, isn't it?
Rip. I meant.
Oh, Rip, right.
Yeah, I'm going back to, because Starting Straight, it's a good shout. I mean, Rip will take everything, all this clutter, and you just be like, D5s.
D5s. Or I think I touched about the other day, they got a question in on got a tear in my shoulder, so did Rip. That's quite who was good to answer the question. And the guy was kind of wanted, you could tell when people want a certain answer from how they are asking the question. Yeah. And Rip just kind of went, I would say you did the press, overhead press. That's going to get your shoulder stronger. Your stabilizer muscles around that, one might be torn or a couple, but they're there to hold the shoulder in the right positions while you're pressing. So that's what
Yeah.
you do. Don't do all these pathetic, feeble exercises that try and isolate them, because that's not how they work. They're not meant to work in isolation.
Yeah.
So that's when he answered that one really well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree with that. Nutrition, I'd go Jeff Nippard,
Okay.
who's very science-based. Like, he'll share the studies and where he gets all his information from. He's very interested. He's also a bodybuilder, so he does have some training stuff on there as well. But I like his diet information. But that's the one where I might swap out with Lane. So that one's a bit weird.
Just keep it. It's someone different.
I'm going to stick with Jeff. Yeah.
That's where your gut instinct went.
Yeah, they're both quite on par when it comes to nutrition advice and studies, and I think
I need to watch more of Mike Israel.
Next one for me is Juggernaut Training Systems, because Mike does all their training background.
I thought he's RP.
He is RP, yeah, but
RP
he does
strength.
a lot of stuff with Juggernaut as well.
All right, cool.
They're kind of joined at the hip.
His stuff's unreal. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he has a 45-minute on how to train your rear delt. And it's just because he is just, the king of learning how to build muscle.
Detail. He obviously likes detail.
If you like detail, but not like tangent-y detail, he's very to the point, very TED Talky. He's done TED Talk as well, but like he just tells you, from A to Z how to train your rear delt.
Some people want that. I think training has been around and been researched and been taught and been spoke about for so many years. There are some things that work really well, and there's a massive audience that need to be just told what to do for that respect, and then they can get creative, get innovative with programming, with how they put their brand out there, whatever. But there's some real simple things that everyone should be doing, and that's probably why he's really good.
Yeah, and it's based on your personality as well. If you're the sort of person that just wants it black and white, maybe not go to Mike. But if you really love the detail and that kind of drives you and motivates you to hear someone talk about it and be enthused about it, definitely, I'd go to Juggernaut and kind of look at their training videos, and yeah, it's just fantastic.
Cool.
I can't really say I've got any for nutrition that I sort of go to regularly.
Apart from eating challenges.
Just don't even start on that one.
We'll leave him. We'll leave him on that one.
I suppose if it's going to take away YouTube a little bit, I'm sure he has got a YouTube channel, but I tend to stick to his Instagram more. It's his Jim Stepani. I quite like some of his stuff. Not necessarily all his stuff, because he can be very product pushy on his own brands, but obviously that's his market. That's what he's doing, and he's selling his own product. But he's selling it with the science, so he's not just necessarily giving you a load of horse shit. Some of it I don't believe, so I definitely think that whatever you read, you should double check, go and have a look at something else and see if anything else backs up that research. For training, I quite like Athlete X. I do like it because I
I think I know which one you mean.
I'm just not a fan. I don't.
Is
it's nothing against it. I mean,
Cavalier in it.
Yeah.
I think that
Jeff
Cavalier.
Yeah. He's just Marmite for me. I just don't.
Yeah, again.
I mean, people don't like him and have a vendetta against him for some reason, which I don't get. I just don't enjoy his videos.
Yeah, no, so I quite enjoy, not necessarily the videos, but I like the way that he breaks down the techniques, and I like the fact that I'm a little bit opposite to you guys, because obviously I trained a lot of hypertrophy for a long time. So for me, if I had weak areas, it was nice to go onto a channel and just pick specific parts that I wanted to work on.
Oh, he's got like a catalogue of training.
Yeah, he's
stuff.
got absolutely loads of it. He trains some of like the WWE wrestlers and things like that. So he has a lot of them on. He's like a massive wrestling fan. But what he'll also do is he's got like the famous marker. So he'll literally show the muscle groups by drawing on himself to show where the activation and things like that is. So it's quite nice to have a bit of a detail on that.
MoveU, sorry to interrupt.
Brilliant.
MoveU are great.
Oh, they are so good.
And their detail when they draw the muscles on, that's also quite good.
That's far better than what he does.
I know.
His is just a couple of markers where they
really
spend
good.
like hours drawing the whole anatomy on someone.
Like a glute on someone, and like a whole shoulder.
Yeah, MoveU's a good point, actually. It's not really a YouTube channel for lifting as such.
They've got YouTube and a catalogue of training exercises, movements, and all their stuff. So
but great for mobility.
MoveU's great.
If you struggle in a certain area,
that's
it's quite
definitely
good.
one for like physiotherapy.
Their details really cool, but they do it in a really engaging, like funny way. So it's kind of. I just like watching them.
Dynamic,
They're just fun to watch.
Yeah, and I know you're gonna hate me for that. Well, you may not. I don't know. I quite like Mark Bell's YouTube, and I think it's because he has quite a lot of, established athletes coming on and doing training videos, which is what I quite like.
I like it for entertainment purposes. Yeah.
Yeah, but he has a lot of
He's
like
had some cool people. I used to love it.
log press. I learned from Shaw, and that was on his channel. So that kind of thing. There's I didn't learn it directly from Shaw before anybody says anything, just via YouTube. I quite like that. I quite like the fact he's got different people on. So you're not just stuck with him showing you how to do
I
something.
didn't know you watched any of Mark Bell.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I used to love Mark Bell back in the day. I used to listen to the Powercast all the time. But it's just, I don't know, I just kind of, when like Silent Mike left and things went a bit weird, I kind of was like, oh, I'm going to take a break as well. I never really went back, so I need to go back and watch a lot of Mark
I think
stuff.
it went just about, from the content I was watching, it went just around nutrition and stuff, and I was like, okay, you can't just push certain diets, because he was on one diet, the next month he's doing something else, and he was like, this is the best thing.
They
So
pushed carnivore a lot.
yeah, it was kind of like diet of the month, and I was like, well, I don't want to just know about diets. I want to see like training, get people back on again, and even if he was bringing the same guests on, it's like still cool. You're still going to learn a ton from them. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some really well. I think recently he's done quite a lot of training videos. So back to rather than staying away from the nutrition, I think he still does a lot of nutrition stuff, but he has got a lot of techniques on there as well, like floor press, box squats.
Yeah, I love his
log press,
his lifting
all that
stuff's
sort of
great.
stuff. It is really good. It's definitely worth checking out.
Definitely.
And I'm going to now check out these guys as well because I've not watched them. So I'll.
Yeah, definitely.
See, we educate everybody, including myself. Oh, there's a really good YouTube channel to follow, which is Let's Talk About It. So you get some really good information off of that. Well, you get information off.
Really good information that other people have made.
Yeah. We recommend where you go to get YouTube videos.
Yeah, we just take all of any chance we have of growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Go, guys, just go somewhere else. Come on.
This one's a quick fire question. Do you all work in the fitness industry?
No. None of us do. Though before we just sit here and say that we're talking about fitness, but none of us work in the fitness industry, Chris is qualified in the fitness industry.
I've got a sport and exercise background, coaching background, so
Yeah, so although he doesn't work in it...
Try my best to educate myself around it for a long time.
Yes, so we're not just here pulling your blonkers, although we are a little bit.
I am.
They wouldn't come here if it was all really serious.
What are some techniques you use for those can't be bothered days? What gets you psyched up for a workout?
Do you need to be psyched up?
So this is where your stoicism comes in.
Training partners.
Yeah, accountability. Yeah.
You got to turn up and train with your mates or whoever your training partners are. If you're in a team, you might not be best mates with all of them, but it's like turning up and front up for the team, that sort of thing. So get to training, whether it's in the weight room or whether it's training in the rugby park or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, especially lately for me, there's this kind of back and forth relationship I have with it, but it's just sometimes you just don't need to be comfortable. Like, people get psyched up and motivated so they feel comfortable to go work out. Like, no, feel like shit and go work out.
One thing I always thought of, and it was like when you watch the best weightlifters, when you watch boxers, I've like sort of heard their stuff as well. Or a lot of elite athletes, they always say, I absolutely dread and hate training. Or when you talk to something like a tennis player, training is just brutal and I really hate it. And then I'm just glad when I can do a bit of tennis and then leave, or whatever their sport might be.
Yeah.
And it's because they're literally just pushing themselves to death. So when you turn up at the gym and you think, that was a great workout. And yet there's the whole, don't always annihilate yourself, but there should be a lot of times when you are uncomfortable, feeling dreadful and having to push yourself way harder than what your little day at work was.
That's when you're growing.
Yeah.
Because if you're comfortable every time, you're going to stay comfortable.
Yeah, you'll just stay the same.
You want to go in days where... There's days when we rock up and we're just like, I can't move.
Yeah, all the time. And then we warm up anyway and you just get going. So in terms of getting psyched up, it's more about consistency and showing up rather than, let's get to the gym and be all hyped for it. It's pointless.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not the same as you.
Listen to
I do
motivational playlists.
I just listen to people shouting at me, telling me to get up.
That's usually us too.
No, I think there's almost two parts to it. I think sometimes there's days where you can not feel motivated and not go, and that's not going to do you any damage.
Definitely a point where you don't have to go.
Yeah,
if you're feeling that rubbish, you don't have to.
Exactly. If you're having a day like I had Tuesday, for me, I was shot. I just felt annihilated. I'd worked out Friday, I was off Saturday, I'd worked out Sunday, I'd worked out Monday, and by the time I got to Tuesday, I was done. I had no motivation to want to get in the gym, and I think it's very important that you should listen to yourself on that side of things as well, and sometimes it's not good. I know you said, not always good to go in and push yourself to the absolute limit, but I think it's also good to listen to yourself and think, if I miss tonight's workout, it's not going to be the end of the world. I can pick it up tomorrow, I can pick it up the next day, and I'm still going to get my numbers in.
I agree. Or even if you did I mean, it sounds like it's almost like opposite, but if you go and you have a bad workout, it's one bad workout in the thousands of workouts you're going to have. It doesn't matter either. So maybe still go in and do something.
I don't think you should punish yourself or feel down about not working out or
no, exactly.
having a bad
And
workout.
you can have essentially active rest days. So you can have a rest day, but you still go and do something. Just go for a walk. Do a hobby you enjoy a little bit, just that's going to get you moving. I mean, you really enjoy golf, so you still got the walking around of golf. It's going to add something.
I literally did it Saturday, so I just felt it was like a long week. I think there's a few nights really working late and still trying to train as hard as I could with you guys in the week. And then Saturday, we went for a coffee and we were meant to go train, and I just couldn't do it. Body was too beat up, and there's days when you think, I feel a bit flat. Shall I go shower or not? Then you should, but if your body's really sore and you know that you think I'm not going to be able to push hard or hit the weights I want to hit,
I'm going to hurt myself.
I could have hurt myself exactly, and my head just wasn't in it. So we just waited, then we just trained. I trained Tuesday night, had an awesome workout, squats and deadlifts, lifted loads of weight.
Yeah, and it was way out of a normal time zone that you would normally be training, but you still were like, okay, I'm going to go and do it. Whereas for me, I was like, it's not going to add anything to me doing this. It's just going to make me feel worse, and the recovery is going to take even longer.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree. If you do have a day where you're feeling a little bit down, when you're not motivated to go to the gym, if you can get yourself in the gym and just do something, even if you're just moving the bar up and down, just getting a bit of mobility work in there, maybe doing some ab work, something that's a little bit more easy, you're still going to benefit from it. You're not going to, you're not going to walk away with nothing. So I think listen to yourself and take it easy if you have to take it easy.
Yeah.
That's the question was what gets you psyched up. I think what you're trying to achieve and all your good training days, and if your goal doesn't scare you a little bit and make you think I need to get to the gym and need to go do something, then that's probably a good place to start. So make sure you're really focused on what you want to achieve. Yeah, that should psych you up as well.
And I think something I read the other day was motivation's good, but it doesn't get the work done. No. Dedication gets the work done.
That's it. It's good.
Yeah. Lovely.
So we've got one more question. I think that's all we'll be able to fit in.
Yeah.
Because that'll take us to about our time. So if we didn't get you in today, apologies, but we will get you into another one.
Yeah, there's about 7 left, I think.
Cool.
Okay, so this question is, how did you all meet / become friends?
I'm getting a bit of deja vu again, isn't it, like you?
Training. Yeah, all the memories have come flooding back.
Oh, gosh.
Training for me and you about, I want to say, around 8 years ago. I was training at, then it was known as Champs Camp, Cannock Road in Corby. And there was like some there's a squat rack, there was bars, there was weights. It was great for training. It was close, so we used to go there quite a lot. Yeah. And I seen you training. You were training with Kieran a lot, so we sort of knew each other then. And then 2014, so just over 6 years now. We decided to do the comp, so our first powerlifting meet. And I think I was friends with you before that though. So just generally met at training and do the gym, together, strength training. Just sort of started talking.
We started training at Champs Camp / Dens, whatever you want to call it.
I can't take that. I really didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Just always remember it as Dens Gym. I don't know
the sign sort of gave it away.
I never looked. I just went in. You just walk in. It's a gym, so you just go in. You don't really look at the name. And I went because you went. That was kind of it. It wasn't my gym. It was just where you went. So I was like, okay, I'll go with you.
I've seen you there a few times, and then you started.
You started insulting me, is what you're saying. You started giving me lectures on strength training.
Well, you can tell that story again. Kieran thinks I was rude to him, which I was like. No, I'm sure I was, because I'm never approachable at the gym, which is bad. But say it again if you want.
But you weren't again. What do you mean again? This is the first time we've said it. There was no way.
We spoke about it a few times ago.
There was no way a technical issue. It means we have to re-record this section. I don't know what you're talking about.
Remind me of what we spoke about.
Oh God, kayfabe broken.
Yeah, you. I think I said I was just trying to lose some weight, and then you lectured me on why I should be strength training because it helps me lose weight. And I wasn't
rude. I was right.
Okay, all right then. We'll reverse it. You were blunt.
Right.
So not rude. You were blunt.
That's okay.
And I think that was
23-year-old Chris. That was probably about as much as I could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd met you a few times on nights out when you'd been out with Eddie, cool. And then I'd seen you in the gym a couple of times with Eddie. But I can't really remember the time that we become friends. Not if I'm honest. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
I'd say around 2015, 16 training at Unit 1.
It was before your first powerlifting comp.
Right.
Definitely before that, because I was going to do that same powerlift, because that's the very last wrestling match I ever had, was the day you guys did that comp.
I think it was a year or so.
Yeah, because I remember you sending me the picture over, and we were looking at that picture the other day, weren't we, of
man.
how skinny and how different everyone looks. It was like insane. I was like, Chris, look how skinny you are. And he was like, oh, God, put on some mass since then. It was
I was 81 kilos that day.
And let's just not mention Scott. Scott, look how skinny you were.
Mate, you look great now. What difference does it make?
Oh, thanks, man. But yeah, I think we went to the gym because I went through a whole weight loss journey. So we kind of did a lot more hypertrophy and cardio. And
I mean, we go back to being friends from, I couldn't even tell you when. It was probably about 12, I reckon, for me. So you'd have been 10?
Probably 10, yeah.
Ish, that kind of age. And it was kind of wrestling, I think, that kind of we started being friends, because you were kind of a very wrestling family. So your mum's really into wrestling, you were really into wrestling. And then that's kind of, I think, how it was born. And there was some interesting things that happened along the way with that one.
Don't talk about, there's none.
No.
Let's not talk about any of them.
Nothing worth mentioning at all.
There was one incident, maybe, where I nearly bit off my tongue. That was an interesting development.
How did they butt off your tongue? What, like that?
No, basically, I thought it'd be a really good idea to do a moonsault or a backflip off of the shed and Scott to catch me. So he used to do something called a plancha, which is where you jump. So if you ever watch wrestling, the guy jumps to the outside. He's not really taking the fall. The guy that he catches takes the fall.
Yeah.
It's getting landed on.
Yeah, well, he doesn't. He kind of like a big crash mat, so he just sort of breaks the fall and then he falls over, so that you don't really take a huge fall from like 9 foot by the time you go over the ropes and land on the floor.
Yeah.
Pretty substantial.
Yeah, if they don't catch you, it hurts like a motherfucker. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah.
It really does hurt, because especially if there's no mats, because that happens a lot as well. A lot of the smaller venues don't put mats down, so you are really reliant on the guy who's catching you to catch you.
It's rather that with the front row, because how close it is to the ring.
Yeah, or
You're
that,
just relying on the concrete to stop you.
or the barricade, which depends on where you go.
Oh,
that can
gosh.
be solid steel, and that ain't going nowhere. You're the only person that's going to break on that one.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be a really good idea to backflip off the shed. Scott did tell me it wasn't a good idea at the time. He kept saying, no,
The 12-year-old in this situation.
don't do that. It's not going to end well. And he was right. Didn't end overly well. So I come down on his shoulder with my mouth open and my tongue out. And then, there was a lot of blood.
And then you went and did a moonsault.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood. And I believe Scott ran off crying because he thought he'd really hurt me. I think he was only 12, to be fair.
Only 12.
I still do it now, to be honest.
Oh man, we had so many funny wrestling stories from when we were kids.
I honestly thought you
that
were
needs
going
to
to
be a
bring
question.
up the whole carbon monoxide story.
No.
Another
We'll leave
time.
that for another podcast.
I'll leave that for a day that Mark can tell the story, because he's actually far better at it than I am.
We'll get the sound guy on.
We'll get the sound guy to just do that story for us. We need an extra microphone for him just so he can do that. No, I mean, there was the pace table.
Pace table,
where I literally...
slam.
So, he choke slammed me through a pace table. Because when you're watching the telly, you're like, well, what's the closest... What's the closest thing to a table? Like the wrestling tables that you get over here? Because you don't really get those kind of folding tables over here like they have.
Maybe like a school table.
Yeah, well, no, because they've got that big metal thick like this. They've got like a metal bar underneath them, so you don't want to be going through that.
No.
So we thought we'll have a pace table. That'd be the best option.
And we weakened it.
Well, no, we didn't weaken it, because it's just a real thin table.
I thought we weakened
No.
it.
What, like strategically sawed bits of it off?
Yeah, so for it to like gimmicked it, as they say.
No, it was just a normal table. And what ended up happening was he choke slammed me through the table, so I, plainly come off the pretend ropes, ran at him, he caught me and choke slammed me. What actually happened was he choke slammed me and it literally just went straight through the table.
Yeah.
So the legs, everything, the frame was all still stood up. I just went straight through the middle.
Oh my goodness.
So there was no break to the fall at all. So I was expecting the table to collapse, which takes the break, breaks your fall a little bit.
Yeah.
Takes your break.
But you went through it so quickly,
I just
it was
went,
like nothing.
literally, it was almost like the frame had stayed exactly where it was and just went straight through the middle of the table. And that was quite painful.
I wonder if we still have any, because we filmed a lot of it.
Oh, we filmed so much of it.
I wonder if any footage still exists.
I don't know, because my very first pro wrestling match is in my first American style wrestling match. That was filmed.
Yeah.
And for the life of me, I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
It would have been so shocking to have sat and watched it back.
Yeah, is that the Jack
No. That was the first American one. So that was the first British one. The first American one was BCW or whatever they called it at the time. It was Me versus Mojo.
Yeah. Me and Skater Boy.
Yeah. Oh, we never got into that story, did we?
No, we didn't.
Would you like to know an interesting story about Scott's very first wrestling music?
This is where I tag out.
There's a pun intended.
His first wrestling music. Oh, we did the
we kind of started talking
intro
about
music, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was it.
And then he managed to dodge it.
He did.
He did dodge it very well,
in the
didn't
gym,
he?
not in the studio.
Yeah.
I still feel it now. I was like 13.
Yeah.
Scott's still like, I'm still going to try and
So I hope you're not going to
dissolve this conversation.
I hope you're not going to be offended by the way I tell this story.
No, do it. Let's fucking go in raw. Let's do it.
Oh, that's an image. So
the story, please.
Yes. So we had our very first American style wrestling match many, many years ago. And
the background is we used to wrestle in the back of a pub. That's where we learned with an old, sort of referee that did Big Daddy Giant Haystack style matches.
He actually did referee them a few times. Storm Norman, his name was.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yep.
But it was in the back of a pub, and you'd get drunk guys come in watching us in the window, or they'd come in sit in watching kids learn how to roll, take bumps,
challenge you to fights, all sorts of stuff would happen.
You just get some messed up stuff. But this small company ended up doing a show.
I would just like to also reiterate that it was a Tuesday night.
It was a Tuesday night.
So you know what kind of guys you've got in a pub on a Tuesday night getting drunk. Okay, so that's just
the Tuesday crew.
If you want a mental image, that's what you need to know the information.
Tipsy Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, Tipsy Tuesday, Wasted Wednesdays,
Thirsty
Thursday, Fucked Fridays, Still Out Saturdays.
Oh, okay.
Still Out Saturdays. I like that one.
That was good.
Skate Boy, then what's going on?
Right.
Oh,
so
sorry. Yeah, back to the story.
We put on the first show.
Nicely kept, and I tried.
We put on the very first show, and actually there was a massive amount of people that turned up to watch. Way more than we thought that was going to turn up. It was packed.
Right.
The whole place was packed. We had a lot of school friends go, and parents and family. So you got real good vibes off of them because they were really happy that you were doing something. So they were there he's a wrestler. I'm going to get behind him. There was loads of them, weren't there? Absolutely loads, which was brilliant in itself. But the guy they'd paid to do the sound, he wasn't very good.
Bit like ours.
Oh, shots fired, Mark.
I'm not sure if that was a Mark or a me.
No.
Right, I'll just put him back onto mute.
Are you going to hear me?
No,
Mark's really good. He would probably take that the wrong way, though.
Yeah, let's
he already thinks you're
away from this story again.
Right. Mark, I like you. You're a good guy. Sorry for being me.
I'm going to put a little clip on now. Just time.
Mute me, and it's like, Chris's mic went out and they just say all the nasty things.
Can we get this over with before I cringe myself to death?
Sorry. So basically, what happens is this guy was not very good, and you'd get a CD, and you'd have to put all your tracks on one CD, and you'd have to go over and tell him what number it was on that CD.
Oh my god!
And he'd have to play it. Okay, so he was messing up the entire night. He was just playing other people's music, or music that wasn't even anyone's music. He'd just play music. And we'd put a compilation CD together that had my music on it, it had Muga's music on it, it had your music on it. But it also had other random stuff on it because, CDs cost money. So you used to get as much out of a CD as you could.
It wasn't random. There was another wrestler at that show.
I didn't think anyone had that.
Yeah, Skate was at the show. It was the first time we ever met the Raw guys, and that's what...
Oh, you're right, because Tomedo and Falcon were... Yeah. No, Skate weren't wrestling then.
Skate was there,
Anyway, we're going off on a tangent, sorry.
Damn it.
Stop doing that, Scott.
He's trying to break it, and it's not going to happen. So, what ended up happening was, Scott's there, young lad, a larger lad for his age, okay?
Shocker.
He used to have a very good thing where he'd be able to suck himself in and have the fake lats.
Yeah,
right.
Puff out the chest.
So he'd literally puff the chest out,
cartoon style,
arms out, and then he'd walk literally like this. That was his walk to the ring.
Nice one.
Exactly the same,
too jacked to do it now.
Now you just look like that.
Yeah, front lat spread. That was me.
Maybe you were just right, I need to look like that now, and that's how you trained for the rest of the life. I've set my own goals. I must look like that. So we got a t-shirt off the line. We had a white one, cut the sleeves off to make him look harder. He had a boiler suit on. So what he'd done is folded the top of the boiler suit down, so it's bright orange,
very
like criminal.
White trash then.
Yeah.
Boiler suit.
Yeah, boiler suit.
Spray painted white. That
painted.
was a homage to Mick Foley.
It was spray painted black and white to make it look like a referee's top.
Got it.
So we're stood backstage. The backstage area.
I was a special guest referee, by the way. We didn't.
Right,
Yeah,
we've got that now, yeah.
So the backstage area was smaller than this. And there's all of the wrestlers in there.
Tiny.
Okay, tiny. So there's like a little entranceway like we've got over there where the door is. And you used to have to go and stand. You used to have to go and stand over there to get ready for your entrance. As soon as your music hit, you go stand over there and get ready to go out. So all three of us are stood at the side. We're all stood there waiting. And then what happens? Skater Boy comes on as the music, and we're like,
your music.
I was supposed to be chaos. I was supposed to be like.
He's supposed to be feared. You know, he's wearing his boiler suit with his spray paint.
Yeah, this 13-year-old.
Yeah, who looks like a 10-year-old.
Did you know the song I was supposed to come out to Prayer by Disturbed?
Yeah, so no facial hair. You know, I don't know, 4 foot, if that.
Probably.
So he's meant to look menacing,
Yeah,
and then
Skater Boy
this music comes on, and he's like, "That's not my music." And we're like, "Yeah, but you've got to go out." He's like, "Yeah, but it's not my music." Like, "You've got to go out."
Yeah.
But it's not my music. And Michael just looks at him and goes, "Well, you're going out," and shoves him out the curtain. But then he turns to come back in, so he's like, "No, I'm not." And literally both of us stood in the door, and we were like, "You've got to go out."
Right.
Then comes the character. So he sort of looks around like, "Oh shit," and then he goes.
Yeah, there's a room full of 200 people here.
So his moment came, it was just not how he wanted it to.
Oh, it was so disappointing for him, and we felt sorry for him after we finished laughing. It was kind of a little bit of bullying, but it was all in good jest.
Yeah.
And then you even did
that doesn't affect me in the long run at all.
Just said, "See you later, boy."
Every time it comes on now, though, that's exactly what I think about. And I think about his face turning around and looking at us, and we're like, "Yeah, you ain't coming back in here, so you make the most of it." And he literally is like walking up to the ropes, looking at everyone really scarily while this song plays in the background.
Yeah.
All the teenage girls, yeah. No, fear me.
Fear me. Fear me. I am the fearful chaos.
I am the skater boy. I mean, I'm the chaos.
I had a face turn in that as well. It's my first ever show.
Yeah, you
I was
did,
bad guy, then I kind of help you win.
Yeah. Oh God, did you?
Yeah. I do a face turn and I pull you out the way of Michael doing something. And then you end up hitting. It's like,
I bet all the kids scream like, "Yay, Skater Boy saved him." It's chaos.
fear me!
I mean,
boiler suit like a prisoner.
Sign my Vans.
Got this from eBay.
I really wish we had the footage of that. I really do.
It must be about somewhere.
Imagine it, Scott as a 10-year-old wrestling.
Oh, it's genius.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely. I mean, I was like, oh no, you must have been older than 10 because I was 16.
Oh, he was
I
12.
was 14.
He was
13, 14.
13,
Oh, you're
14.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
I started wrestling when I was 11 because you had to be 12, and they said, no, just lie.
All right.
We could have, I tell you what, there could be almost a dedicated podcast to old wrestling stories from when we were kids, but we're not going to get into that now.
Yeah.
So we are about out of time. So
Yeah.
if we didn't get your question in this week, we do apologise. We went off on a few tangents, but we will get them into the next podcast. Thank you for watching. If you want to catch any of our old podcasts, you can find them at www.letstalkaboutit.co.uk. Also, the latest one will be up there. You can also find any of our merchandise. Chris, where can we find you?
Mackenzie.strength.
Scott? Joking.
Scott speaking.
And you can find me at Let's Talk About It on Instagram. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you again next time.